Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source. Another day, another 15 MLB games to get through. It's Wednesday, April 26th. Let's go.
Welcome to The Source. The Source. Source. Hey, get the Source.
First up, we got Texas on the road in Cincinnati. We got Jon Gray pitching against Graham Ashcraft, who's been red hot. Line opens up with the Reds slightly favored at -120. Total opens up at 8.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, score after 5 innings should be 4-1 Texas. Score at the end of the game should be 5-1 Texas, so a solid big lead on the Rangers there. Want to hear Graham Ashcraft's numbers against left-handed bats this year? Total batters faced, 47 lefties, 2 hits. 2 combined in 47 at-bats. That's an .049 batting average allowed to left-handed bats this season. If you got lefties in your lineup, get them out when you play the Reds when Ashcraft's on the mound. That's huge in this game because Texas usually has 5 or 6 left-handed bats in their day-to-day starting lineup. So despite the Rangers' bats being hot right now, I actually love this spot for Ashcraft. On the other side, we got Jon Gray, who's been anything but spectacular this year. Don't let that 3.72 ERA fool you. His expected ERA is 6.16. 2.4 whole runs higher than his actual ERA. Jon Gray has had some very good luck to start this season. But one thing you can say about Jon Gray is he's mainly struggling against lefties. He's actually just allowing a 2.27 WOBA against right-handed bats. Cincinnati usually has 6 righties in their starting lineup. That's a solid angle if you believe in Jon Gray. Personally, I don't. The thing is, I don't believe in the Cincinnati Reds bats either, so I think our best bet right now is to go first 5 under 4.5 at -105 next game. Next up, Boston on the road in Baltimore again. We got Tanner Houck throwing for the Red Sox, Tyler Wells pitching for the Orioles. This line opens up as a pick'em, even -110. Total opens up at 8. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, after 5 innings, we should be looking at 3-1 in favor of Baltimore. After the full game, 4-2 Baltimore. So let's start off talking about the Red Sox lineup's numbers lifetime against Tyler Wells, or lack thereof, I should say. You ready for this? In 23 career at-bats, which isn't the hugest sample size to be fair. Just a 174 batting average and a 513 OPS. Excellent numbers for Tyler Wells' career against this Red Sox lineup. And the thing about Tyler Wells is his numbers don't really show it for this season, but he's been throwing well. In his last start, he went 7 innings, just 3 hits and 1 walk, 0 earned runs allowed. Unfortunately, we can't say the same thing about Tanner Houck. He's off to a little bit of a rough start, but like Tyler Wells, he does have good career numbers against Baltimore. Another thing about Tanner Houck, he had excellent numbers on the road last year, a 1.82 ERA and a 2.20 WOBA, but he only had 1 road start. Large majority, basically all those numbers came in appearances out of the bullpen. And as we know, that's completely different. In my opinion, Tyler Wells is a much stronger starting pitcher than Tanner Houck. And on the fact that I think Baltimore's a better overall team than Boston right now, I'm definitely leaning towards the O's, especially coming off an ass beating that they got last night. I'm sure this line's going to move. People are going to start betting the O's coming off that loss. And this is not going to stay here. But as of right now, you can get Baltimore money line at -110. I'm taking it. Give me the O's next game. Next up, we got the Chicago White Sox on the road in Toronto. Michael Kopech pitching against Kikuchi. Total opens up at 10. Toronto opens up as heavy favorites here, -210. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, the score after 5 innings is going to be 5-0 Toronto. Huge lean. Full game 6-0 Toronto. So yeah, huge lean on the Blue Jays there. Well, at first glance, obviously we're all heavily leaning towards Toronto. And for me, it's not just because Kikuchi looked good in this last start. This is a pure fade of Michael Kopech. I'm going to read off the 3 worst starting pitchers in baseball when it comes to barrel rate. Ready for this? Third to last, Rich Hill is allowing a 14.8% barrel rate. Second to last, JP Sears, allowing a 17.2% barrel rate. And dead last, Mr. Michael Kopech. Of all pitchers that have pitched 20 innings or more, Michael Kopech is allowing a 25.4% barrel rate. Dead last by a mile. Michael Kopech is out there throwing batting practice, and it doesn't get any better for Kopech in this matchup. He's had just 2 career appearances against the Toronto Blue Jays. Ready for this? 4 innings pitched, 10 runs allowed, including 3 home runs. That's in just 4 innings pitched. And it gets even deeper because you might be thinking, yo, we got the Chicago White Sox against a lefty though. What about Kikuchi? Well, hold up. This is not the 2021 White Sox. This is not the 2022 White Sox. Those teams could crush some left-handed pitching. This White Sox team, ready for this? Last 2 weeks, just 28th in WOBA against left-handed pitching. This White Sox lineup is doing nothing right now. Not to mention, as I said in yesterday's video, we all know how bad the White Sox bats have been on the road as well. I mean, you just can't bet this White Sox team right now. Gotta go with Toronto, even though they're expensive here. Probably go with a first 5 run line, maybe a first 5 team total over. Most of the markets aren't open yet, so I'll give you my final pick on the live show, 11 a.m. tomorrow, next game. Next up, Rockies on the road in Cleveland. I'm gonna pass on this one for now. Xavier Curry's pitching for Cleveland. I really don't know anything about him. Like I've said a number of times, I don't trust Colorado's bats on the road, even though I don't know they just put up 6 runs tonight. But yeah, I just don't like this one. I'm skipping it. Next game. Yankees on the road in Minnesota again. We got Domingo Germán pitching against Kenta Maeda. Line opens up Minnesota favored at -140. Line total opens up at 8. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, after 5 innings, Minnesota should be leading 2-1. Full game, Minnesota wins 4-1. Well, yesterday we already talked about how this Yankees lineup is not hitting right-handed pitching at all right now. And now we can add on the fact that the Yankees have terrible career numbers against Kenta Maeda. The Yankees' current lineup is just 10 of 60 lifetime against Maeda. Also, despite being 0-3, Kenta Maeda's actually pitched pretty decently this year. I mean, he hasn't been terrible. I mean, one of his starts, he went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. And the Twins lost 1-0. I mean, he hasn't been that bad at all. Are you ready for these numbers on the Yankees bats? Check this out. Toast actually texted these over to us. So this is since Giancarlo Stanton was placed on the IL. Aaron Judge is batting just 138. He's just 4 of 29. The bottom half of the Yankees order this season, number 5 through number 9, is 29th in Major League Baseball in OPS. Only the Kansas City Royals, bottom half of the lineup, has been worse than the Yankees this season. And we got Domingo Germán pitching, and you know what? He's actually been okay. His last start was rough against Toronto, but I watched that game. I watched that entire game because I had Toronto money line as my bet of the day. He wasn't nearly as bad as his numbers indicate. And actually, a couple starts ago, he pitched against the Twins. He shut them down. 11 strikeouts, 6 1/3 innings, no runs or something like that. He completely shut the Twins down. But that was at home in Yankee Stadium. Also, that was the cheating game where the ump kept checking his hands and the Twins manager got tossed. Actually, that start leads me to believe that I think he might get tagged up by the Twins here. This is on the road in Minnesota. And if I think Minnesota's going to put up at least 4 or 5 runs, I got to bet the Twins because the Yankees just are not hitting. So at -125, I'm on Minnesota. Give me the Twins money line here next game. Next up, Detroit on the road in Milwaukee. We got Michael Lorenzen pitching for the Tigers. Freddie Peralta on the mound for the Brewers. Milwaukee opens up heavily favored, -220. Total opens up at 8. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, after 5 innings, we're looking at 4-1 Milwaukee. Final score 4-2 Milwaukee. Let's give some credit to Michael Lorenzen. He threw his gem the last time out. 5 scoreless innings, just 3 hits and 1 walk. Of course, Detroit still loses 2-1 to Baltimore, but he was outstanding. But that was against the Baltimore lineup that really specializes against left-handed pitching. Lorenzen being a righty. This is on the road in Milwaukee against a Brewers lineup that has no problem hitting right-handed pitching. Basically, I'm saying I very seriously doubt we see another gem performance like that out of Michael Lorenzen. To me, the much bigger question mark is on the other side with Freddie Peralta. I'm a big Freddie Peralta fan, but he's coming off back-to-back Rocky starts. First San Diego, next was Boston. Now, we're used to seeing Freddie Peralta struggle walking guys, but he's getting hit up. But I do have some good news for Freddie Peralta. He has some godlike numbers against this Detroit Tigers lineup in his career. Detroit's lineup combined is just 4 of 29 off of Freddie Peralta. Tigers are also all the way towards the bottom of the MLB when it comes to hitting righties as well. This is a perfect spot for Freddie Peralta to get back on track with a really great start. Unfortunately, as expected, Milwaukee first 5 run line is just way overpriced. We're looking at -140 to lay the half run. So I would look one of 2 places here. I would look at either Detroit first 5 team total under. That line isn't open yet. Or I would look at Freddie Peralta to record a win in the game, also not open. I'll give out the prices for those on the live show at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Next up, Kansas City on the road in Arizona. I'm skipping this one. Obviously, I like the D-backs at home with Gallen pitching, but as expected, they're crazily priced. They're super expensive, so I'm passing. Next game. Dodgers on the road in Pittsburgh again. We saw a great game last night. Dodgers came from behind to win 8-7. I'm skipping this one too. I don't trust Roansy Contreras at all. Obviously, I would love to back the Dodgers with Tony Gonsolin making his first start, but he's making his first start. Like I just said, we don't really know what to expect out of him. If I knew we were going to get Tony Gonsolin from the first half of last season, it would be Dodgers -1.5 here without a doubt. But to be safe, I'm just going to skip it next game. Next up, Houston's on the road in Tampa again. Looking like a bullpen day for the Rays. Hunter Brown on the bump for Houston. Line opens up about a pick'em, -115 Houston, slightly favored. Total opens up at 8. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. And according to the model, we got a high-scoring game here. After 5 innings, we're looking at 4-4. Full game 6-5 in favor of Tampa. So I backed Hunter Brown in his last start. Actually, we had Houston money line as the bet of the day that day. He got absolutely rocked on the road in Atlanta. That being said, the Astros came back and won the game, so we still cashed, but he was not good. And I would say, well, that was on the road in Atlanta, one of the toughest places to pitch. We can disregard that start. Okay, if that's one of the toughest places to pitch, what do you call on the road in Tampa Bay? They've been arguably the best lineup in baseball so far this season, and in the last 2 weeks, they're second in WOBA against right-handed pitching. They haven't really cooled off. To take it even further, Hunter Brown's biggest weakness is trying to get outs from right-handed bats. Tampa's lineup has 6 right-handed bats in it. So yeah, I am not comfortable putting my money on this kid, Hunter Brown, again. I know a lot of people are going to be scared to back Tampa here in a bullpen day, but this is the Rays. They invented bullpen days. They win a ton of games like this every single year. It's really no reason to get scared off them. I'm definitely leaning Rays money line. I want to wait and see what the line does before I actually lock in a bet. I'll give out something on the live show for this game at 11 a.m. next game. Mariners on the road in Philly, and this one just feels like a straight coin flip. I mean, at home, Taijuan Walker's due for a good start, so I guess maybe against the Mariners lineup that doesn't particularly crush right-handed pitching, this could be a decent spot for it, but I'm not willing to put my money out. As of right now, I have no pick. Next, Nats on the road in Citi Field to play the Mets. We got Kodai Senga pitching for the Mets against Mackenzie Gore for the Nats. Total opens up at 8.5. Mets open up as heavy favorites, -220. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we're going to see a low-scoring game here. 2-1 Mets after 5 innings. 3-1 Mets final score. I keep waiting for this kid Mackenzie Gore to blow up. I've been saying he's a fraud all year. I thought his last start against Baltimore, the Orioles crushed lefties. I thought he was really going to implode, and he really didn't. He really wasn't that bad. I mean, Baltimore won the game 4-0, but 6 innings, 3 runs, 3 hits, 4 walks. That's not a terrible start for a lefty against Baltimore. Now he faces a Mets lineup that isn't particularly excellent against left-handed pitching. I mean, they're okay. In the last 2 weeks, they're 14th against lefties. If he's able to put together a quality start against the Baltimore Orioles lineup who crushes lefties, he can definitely put together a quality start against this Mets lineup. Now, Kodai Senga is on the mound for the Mets. Now, New York is a perfect 4-0 in his 4 starts. Kodai Senga is 3-0 himself. That being said, his last 2 starts were not good. In his last 2 starts, Kodai Senga allowed 12 hits and 8 walks in his last 2 starts. The only reason the Mets won both of those games is they scored a combined 26 runs in those games. I don't know if we can count on the Mets continuing to score 10 runs a game to bail Kodai Senga out. I think the Nats are going to get to him. I took Washington first 5 yesterday, and I think it's another good spot to take Washington first 5 again. Money line if you're feeling risky. Take the half run if you want to play it safe. But I think Washington first 5 is the play here. Next game. Marlins on the road in Atlanta. We got Sandy Alcantara on the road pitching against Bryce Elder. Braves open up as slight favorites, -130. Total opens up at 7.5. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, after 5 innings, we should be looking at a 3-1 score in favor of Atlanta. Full game, 4-1 Atlanta. Look, straight up, this is an easy description. I just very seriously doubt Sandy Alcantara is going to have 3 bad outings in a row. I still believe this is the best pitcher in baseball, at least top 2 or 3. I don't care how much better the Braves are than the Marlins. I think Sandy's going to blank them. So give me the Marlins money line at +130. I think Sandy goes 7 or 8 innings in this one. Padres on the road in Wrigley to play the Cubs again. We got Drew Smyly pitching for the Cubs. Michael Wacha pitching for the Padres. Total opens up at 9.5. Padres open up as slight favorites at -115. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet, and once again, it's giving us a Cubs blowout. 7-0 Cubs after 5, 9-0 Cubs full game. Are you ready for Drew Smyly's numbers at home so far this year? Check this out. So he's had 2 starts at home. He's pitched a combined 12 2/3 innings. He's allowed 3 hits and 1 walk in 12 2/3 innings. That's a .075 WOBA. This dude, Drew Smyly, has been Cy Young in Wrigley Field so far this year. And to top it off, Drew Smyly's got excellent career numbers against this Padres lineup, dating back to his years with the Braves. The Padres lineup has a combined 99 at-bats against Drew Smyly over their lifetime. They're batting just .202 against him. Michael Wacha pitching for the Padres. He's struggled, to say it in a friendly way. He's not off to a great start. Look, this is just another game, same as yesterday. I don't understand the price. They continue giving us the Cubs at these really friendly prices. They have the best record in baseball right now. So yeah, I'm on the Cubbies again. Next, Oakland's on the road playing the Angels. I'm skipping this one. Louis Medina is making a start for Oakland. It's his first career start. No clue who that is. So I don't feel comfortable giving out a bet. Next, last game is Cardinals at Giants, and I'm skipping this one also, but this isn't a result of the pitching. These lineups just make no sense to me. They're both so bad and so inconsistent. I have no idea what to expect out of these two lineups on a day-to-day basis. So I'm skipping this one as well for now. Maybe I'll give out a bet for this one on the live show at 11 a.m. Any injury updates or crazy changes to anything, I will let you know on Twitter. So give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, like I mentioned a few times, live show 11 a.m. We'll be going through every single game, giving out final picks. Make sure you check it out.